Yeah, yeah. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Season of Agents, a virtual event dedicated to exploring the dynamic world of intelligent agents, automation, and the future of AI powered productivity. Today, I am joined by Janarthanan sir. He is a senior specialist at ATOS, and he'll be taking over the session, handing over you the command, sir.
Okay, thanks, Sudhanshu, for the introduction part. I hope my screen is visible, right? Hello?
Yes, sir, it
Are
is
you able to
visible.
see
Yeah.
my screen, Sudhanshu? Yes.
Yes, sir, it
Sudhanshu,
is visible. Yeah.
okay. So, good evening and good morning, whoever joined at different parts of the world. So, today, interesting topic with respect to the season of agents. How are we going to build a personal AI agents with respect to Microsoft Azure platform? So before we start the session, let me introduce myself. I'm Janarthanan Selvaraj. So I'm a Microsoft AI MVP as well as Microsoft community lead for the India region, as well as I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. And also I'm a Microsoft Learn expert for the AI as well as data category. And as of now, with respect to the Microsoft platform, I have completed almost 14 Microsoft certifications on the Microsoft platform. So, any questions related to generative AI as well as agentic AI, feel free to reach out to my LinkedIn handle. This is my LinkedIn handle. And also, I used to post the technical updates as well as the hackathon challenges and the tech updates related to Microsoft Azure platform on my YouTube handle. And this is my YouTube handle. You can scan the YouTube handle as well as the LinkedIn handle for further queries. And also, I'm a speaker as well as a blogger. I used to write articles in the C Sharp Corner page. Then let's start our discussion. So, today we'll talk about the agentic AI and how the evolution of agents started and what are the various features of agent. And we will deep dive into our Azure AI agent services and what are the components of agent, and also we'll discuss about the agent playground and the different tools available with respect to agent playground. It could be a knowledge tools or it could be an action tools. And also we will be discussing the various options of agent development framework with respect to the semantic kernel and the Azure AI Foundry SDK. And we will see how to build your own agents using the semantic kernel. And finally, talk about the personas and the prompt template and various types of plugin with respect to the semantic kernel agents. The very first one is, what is this agentic AI about? The agentic AI, it is a new frontier of the generative AI platform because the agentic AI is acting as a smart microservices, and also you can build any type of system that is going to act autonomously, and if you want to take any particular decision with the minimal human intervention, you can go for the agentic AI platform. So under this agentic AI platform, by default, you have to leverage the services of generative AI on the top of the agentic AI with minimal human intervention. And you can build any type of AI system to your respective goals, and how are we going to adapt to the changing environment with the help of this agentic AI framework. So before the agentic AI framework, usually it's all starts from the chatbot. From chatbot, it is leveraged to the retriever augmented generation. From there, it is leveraged to copilot. Now it is fully autonomous agents. Look at the evolution. It starts from chatbot. Now we reach to the agents, and in the next 2 more years, we will be reached to the physical AI. So it starts with the Gen AI, then you are moved to agentic AI, then we will be moving to the physical AI. That's the actual prediction with respect to the evolution of agents. And what is an agent actually? So when it comes to an agent, you can leverage your existing generative AI services as well as model, and also you can automate your entire workflow with the help of your agents, and you will be able to perform various types of tasks as well as activities with the help of the Microsoft AI agent services. And what is the beauty of this Microsoft Azure platform? Microsoft Azure platform, with respect to the Azure AI Foundry, they have launched a service known as Azure AI Agent Service. That's a Azure AI Agent Service. It's a new service where you will be able to deploy, build, test any type of agents. It could be a single agent or it could be a multi-agent framework. So we'll see what are the features of these agents. The major important features of agent, if you notice that it has the power of autonomy. When I say autonomy, whatever the agent or whatever the services you build on the top of this Azure AI agent services, it require minimal human intervention only. That's the power of autonomy. And the second feature, if you observe from this Azure AI agent, is reactivity. So, meaning of reactivity, it is going to respond to various platform, various applications, various type of system. It is easy to adapt in terms of reactivity. And also it has the learning ability. When I say the learning ability, it has this learning curve to adapt various goals you will be able to achieve with the help of this Azure AI agent services. And then when it comes to the sociality, so most of the agents nowadays, if you want to build it, it is suit to the human interventions. That is in terms of sociality. So these are the various features how the AI agents are present in the current situation. Let's talk about the Azure AI Foundry. Under this Azure AI Foundry, if you keenly notice, we have an extensive service which is related to build, and you can use any single agents or a multi agents with the help of this Azure AI agent services. And this Azure AI agent service, it is a managed service where you can build, deploy, as well as you can test your agents. There are two ways you can create an agent. One, with the help of your visual experiences in your Azure AI Foundry through your Azure AI agent services. The second approach, you can create your agents with the help of your coding based experiences. Let me show you the differences. If you see this is the Microsoft Azure AI Foundry. Using the Microsoft Azure AI Foundry, you can create your own agents. So as of now, the agent address is still in the preview section. And also the beauty of this agents, by default, you have to provision a particular generative AI services or a generative AI model in order to create an agent. As of now, in the model catalog, we have almost 1916 models are available, right from your GPT 3.5 till the latest model GPT 4.1, your Llama model, your Mistral model. So close to, in the model catalog, we have 1920 models are there, and including the Pi data, O4 mini, O3 mini. So in order to build any type of agent, the foremost thing what you are supposed to do is either you need to build a base model or else you have to build a fine-tune model. You just go to the models and endpoint section in the asset tab. Here you can see there are two options. Either you can build a base model or else you can deploy a fine-tune model. When you want to deploy a base model, you have a set of models available in the model catalog. So you can choose whichever model which is for your use cases. You can choose wisely in terms of the base model as concerned. So I have already provisioned the model which is known as GPT-4 model, and that particular model which I created for this agent creation. This is one way to visualize your agent playground experiences. The other way around, you can create your own agents using your code based approaches or coding experiences in your Microsoft Visual Studio Code. So let me discuss both of this one by one. So these are the two options where we will be able to create our own agents with respect to your Azure AI agent services as well as coding based approaches. The second one is, why do we require a Azure AI agent services? There are three important main reasons we require an Azure AI agent services. One is the automatic tool handling. When I say automatic tool handling, you can write your own Azure functions, or still you can write your custom functions with respect to the Azure AI agent services. That is the usage of automatic tool handling. And the second one is, you will be able to manage your data in a secure manner with help of your passwordless and else password protected key authentication, as well as your keyless authentication, various mechanism to handle your data. And the last one is out of box model. It is not only we are going to deploy a GPT model, we will be able to deploy Pi model, Mistral model, Llama model, almost 1920 models you can deploy with respect to the Azure AI agent services. So these are three predominant reason why we are using this Azure AI agent services. Let's see the various components of the agent ecosystem. And if you notice the agent ecosystem, there are two important components. One, and we call it as knowledge tools. The another one we call it as action tools. If you see this, both these tools, these extensive tools, when it comes to the knowledge tools, we will be able to take a data from the Microsoft Fabric, the SharePoint, the Bing search, the Azure AI search, or else you can bring your own data to the knowledge tool section as concerned. And the second one, we call it as the action tools. With respect to the actions tool, you can use code interpreter, or you can use the Azure Logic app, or still you can use the Azure functions or custom functions in terms of your actions tools as concerned. And also we have an extensive model catalog, almost 1920 models are available. You will be able to deploy any type of Azure OpenAI model or any type of other models also. So this is with respect to your components of your agent section. The next one, that is how this agent usually works. So whenever user is going to prompt a question in the agent playground, and here they have created an agent, name it as travel booking agent. So usually this travel booking agent is going to query the questions related to travel request, as well as the booking request to the accommodation and the hotel related assistance stuff as concerned, which is your travel booking agent. That's your major system messages, or we call it as we used to provide an instructions to know which type of agent are we using. So under the travel booking agent, we are having three extensive elements of your agent. One is the knowledge source, that is your tool. Second one, it is your action tools. Third one, it is your model. So these three are required in order to build any type of agents in your Microsoft Azure AI agent services. So how this agent usually works is, whenever you create an agent, you are supposed to deploy a Microsoft generative AI model, first step. Then the second step is, after you created an agent, you can start giving the instructions or the system message, which type of agent are you supposed to create it. Then the third important stuff, it is you have to provide either the knowledge tools or you can use the action tools. Depending upon the use cases, we will use any of these tools. So in our case, we are going to use the knowledge tools, where I'll be uploading a file document and we are going to query those documents in our agent playground. So once these steps are completed, you can try this in your agent playground. So after you have created an agent, every agent is associated with an agent ID. And the moment the agent ID has been associated, there will be a thread will be started. And you can execute your agent the moment you type a prompt and you give enter. It is going to check whether the thread status, whether it is the running state or run state, or it is a cancelled state, or it is declined state. Whatever the status of the run status, finally you will be getting the agent responses. That's how the agent functionality will works. So this was the playground. I just given the introduction part. Here, if you see this agent playground, so every agent has been associated with an agent ID, which has been uniquely created. So what is the agent name I have created here is expense agent I have created. So before you create any agent name, it has to deploy one particular generative AI model. So which model here I used is GPT-4o model, and you have to provide the system message or the instructions clearly in this agent playground, so that the end users, whoever using this type of agent, they'll get to know that okay, this particular AI agent which I created for the claim related expenses. Then in the knowledge tool section, I just added the local file in the knowledge tool section. So which is there in the knowledge tool section part. So knowledge tool sections, if you see this, you can add the Azure AI search, your grounding with the Bing search, your local files. Now currently they have added two more things. One is the trip advisor, the second one we call it as, I'll show you that, trip advisor. And also you can get the data from the Microsoft Fabric also. Example, if I want to create an agent, let me create an agent, new agent. So agent name will be defaultly it will be created, and you can rename the agent name whichever you want it. So just loading it. So meanwhile, I will edit this option also. So when I perform this edit option, you can see that you have a provision to upload these type of file format. We have already uploaded the file format. And is it still loading? Yeah. So you can see that agent name by default it is created, and you have to choose the deployment, which deployment you want. You can choose it, and you have to provide the instructions. When you add the knowledge section, you have a provision to add your local files, Azure AI search, Microsoft Fabric data you can add, grounding with Bing search, and TripAdvisor. So these five are the major knowledge tools we can add as a source. Suppose if I want to add as an action section, then you can use code interpreter as well as OpenAI 3.0 specified tools. And we have two more functionality. One is custom functions, or else you can use your Azure functions. So any of the action tools you can add in the action section as concerned. So I have already uploaded the data in the knowledge tool section, which is about your expense vector store or the expense policy claim. I'm going to try in this playground. The moment I tried in the playground, so it will appear like this. When I say it will be appearing like this. So whenever you ask any question, the thread has been started. After you created an agent, the thread has been started. And it is going to check the conditions about your vector store, which is your policy document, which is there in knowledge tool. And if you can ask any questions, so I'm asking a question is what is the maximum I can claim for the meals? This is a question I'm asking. So immediately it is checking the document which I've been uploaded in the knowledge tools. What is the document I have uploaded? Is expense policy document I have uploaded it. And it is given the citation saying that what is the guidelines, how much of trip you can claim the expense for this, and for a travel this is the amount, for your accommodation this is the amount. The entire citation details you can see from the agent playground. You can with the help of your no code application. So here I'm not writing any code, I just use the agent playground to do this. So let me ask a question, what is the maximum I can claim for travel? This is a question I'm asking. Okay. Now it is start checking the document in the knowledge tool, and it will answer it accordingly. So now the file it is started checking. So you can see the maximum you can claim for a travel is $5,000 per trip, and you must book the most economical and direct transportation available and adhere to the company travel policy guidelines. And you can see the citation information, so which document it has provided the citation. So this is how we used to create a agent inside the Microsoft Azure AI agent services. And we have seen the knowledge tools and we discussed about the action tools. So, what are the other options in order to create an agent development as concerned? Okay. So, there are multiple ways we can create an agent. One with the help of the Azure AI Foundry, we just created this. The second one is you can create a multi-agent with the help of AutoGen is one of the framework, and one more framework we call it as the semantic kernel. What is the beauty behind the semantic kernel is you can create your agents starting from your deployment till your production ready application. We can make it in the semantic kernel. But when you do with respect to your AutoGen framework and all, it is just only to use for POC purpose, or else it's only used for the ideation purpose. That is for the AutoGen framework. The other options where we can create an agents are Copilot Studio and the Azure AI Foundry. Azure AI Foundry already you have seen it. If you are a low code developer or as no code developer, you can create an agent using Copilot Studio itself. That is a possible thing. And the other options are Copilot Studio is for the M365 users or the business users. For the developers, you can use your Visual Studio or else GitHub Copilot to create your own agents. So these are the various types of agents where you will be able to create it. So let's see the differences between the Microsoft OpenAI assistants versus agents. If you see this Microsoft OpenAI assistants versus agent, so agent has a feature known as flexible model selection. But when you go for Azure OpenAI, you have to choose only Azure OpenAI. And again, the agent has one more option known as extensive data integration. It could be a SharePoint, Microsoft Fabric, or it could be your custom function, Azure functions. Almost most of the types of connectors you can use in the extensive data integration part. And by default, it has a security as concerns, enterprise security, keyless authentication. Your two keys has been created for every Azure AI agent services. It is pretty much secure in terms of the Azure AI agent services. And you will be able to choose your storage solution in terms of block storage or file storage, or because you can bring your own storage also, that is possible. So these are the four major reasons why this Azure AI agent services are more popular when you compare to the other developments parts related to the agent development. So what we will be doing is we have already created a Microsoft Azure AI hub. Inside the hub, we have created a project. When you create a project, by default, it will be having a key vault, a search, and the Azure AI services and the storage account. These four services are associated when you create a Azure AI project. If you want to see that, you can check that one here also. So whenever you create a hub, okay, I have already created a hub here, and then that particular hub is associated with one of the project known as retail demo project. And inside the retail demo project, you have a storage, you have a key vault. So all your connected services are present. So now what we are going to discuss is, as we discussed, the first one is no code agent. Now we'll discuss about code based agent. So in order to create a code-based agent, we will be using the semantic kernel, because semantic kernel is one of the open source SDK where you can create and build your own agents using your natural language prompt. When I say the natural language prompt, it's minimal English. Okay. Even if you write a natural language prompt in English, you can build your own agents with the help of semantic kernel framework. So under the semantic kernel framework, it is supporting various types of languages: .NET, Python, and Java. So these three are the languages supported by semantic kernel. And when it comes to the endpoint as concerned, it supports OpenAI endpoint, the Azure OpenAI endpoint, and a Hugging Face endpoint. So these three endpoints are supported widely. And what is the prerequisite you require for your code-based experiences agent is you require an Azure subscription, and you require one of the Azure OpenAI model where you can build your agents. So right now I have deployed the model on a GPT-4o. GPT-4o is the best model to use your code-based agent also. So these are the framework. Let's see one by one. So this is the C sharp code. What I have written is, so what is the package I have imported? A semantic kernel package. I have imported it. Okay. So under the semantic kernel package, I have created one main method. Inside the main method, we just use one of the method known as create builder method. Under the create builder method, we are going to create one kernel object. Okay. So what type of endpoint I used here is I used the Azure OpenAI endpoint. So under this Azure OpenAI endpoint, I have passed three parameters. One is the deployment name, second one is the API key, and third one is the endpoint. So these three parameters where I have taken is you go to the Azure OpenAI Foundry. So inside the Azure OpenAI Foundry, under the My Asset section, models plus endpoint. When you click this models plus endpoint, you can see the model name, which is GPT-4o. And also you can notice there will be two keys available. You can take any one of the key and followed by the endpoint. So these three parameters, you have to take it from the Azure AI Foundry. So from the Azure AI Foundry, you take these three parameters. I have taken these three parameters and I just pass the values. Then using the build method, we create a kernel object. With the help of the build method, we just created a kernel object. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to call one of the method known as, the name of the method is invoke prompt sync method. Using the invoke prompt sync method, I just typed one of the prompt is, give me a list of breakfast food with the bread and cheese. So this is the prompt I have passed inside the invoke prompt async method, and I just execute. I'm going to execute this code now. Just say .NET run, and name of the class is program as the name of the class, because we are calling one of the static method called as main method is a static method here, and I just call the class name. Now it is just executing a code-based agent. So what type of code-based agent is? We pass one of the function known as invoke prompt async method, and just we have created this. Right, just executing. See, so it is given the list of breakfast foods with bread and cheese. You can see sandwiches and toast, pastries and baked goods, then breakfast pizzas, breakfast melt, regional favorites, your miscellaneous. So these are the variety of options it has been provided for which one is your list of breakfast foods with your bread and cheese. This is a way how we will be building your own kernel object with the help of your Azure AI agent services. So what is the package we used is semantic kernel is the name of the package. And we called one of the functionality known as create builder function to build the kernel object. And we used one of the endpoint known as Azure OpenAI endpoint. In the Azure OpenAI endpoint, we have to pass three parameters. One is the deployment name we pass the endpoint, and we pass the API key. And model ID is optional. Okay. So these three parameters where it is available, you just check out from the Azure AI Foundry. In the Azure AI Foundry, you can see that the model name, and also you can see the keys and endpoint. Okay. If you want the keys and endpoint, go to the management center. In the management center, you will be able to see the connected resources. Click that. In the connected resources, you can find the key and you can find the endpoint. Okay. This is the way to check your keys and endpoint. So as I told earlier, whenever you created any Azure AI Foundry, there will be four types of services it will be associated. One is the Key Vault, second one is your Azure OpenAI services, AI services, and the blob storage. So these four things will be available whenever you create any standard agent support. First, you will be creating the hub. After you created a hub, then you will be creating a project. While creating the project, these four services will be associated with the Azure AI project. That is your standard agent support. Okay. And also, what is the language I use nowadays? I use the language known as .NET is a language, and I have used the Azure OpenAI endpoint in the code. Let's see the various types of plugins. So almost we have close to 7 types of built-in plugins available in the Azure AI Foundry SDK. One is the conversation summary plugin, the file IO plugin, the HTTP plugin, math plugin, text plugin, time plugin, and wait plugin. If you are used for any type of conversation related summaries, go for conversation summary plugin. For any file management system, you can go for file IO plugin. And if you want to make any type of HTTP request endpoint, you can go for HTTP plugin. For mathematical operations, there is a plugin known as math plugin. And for text-based operations, we have a text plugin. For time related concern, we will use time plugin. And if I want to wait any type of responses for a fraction of time or a seconds, I can go for wait plugin. So let's see this particular code approach. So what I'm going to do is I just commented these 2 lines. So now I'm going to create a new class named as program 001. So under the program 001 class, what are the 2 packages I have been imported is one package is this semantic kernel package, and the second package which I'm going to import now it is a core plugin package. So these two are the packages we are supposed to import it. And in that static method, what is a new method I have created here? It is my time is a static method I have created. And with the help of the create builder method, we are going to create a builder object. So builder object, we created it. Using that builder object, we are going to call the function known as the Azure OpenAI chat completion as a plugin. Inside that, we will be passing 3 parameters. One is the deployment name, second one is the API key, third one is the endpoint. So this 3 parameter, we just passed it. Now we are going to use the built-in plugin. So what is the name of the built-in plugin I'm going to use is the time plugin. So time plugin, I'm using one of the collection type. What is the collection type of this time plugin is add from type. Add from type is one of the collection type. Inside the collection type, I just pass the plugin name. So this type of plugin will get some of the exceptions and warning. In order to suppress this warning, I'll use this pragma warning disable message. Then in the invoke async method, I just pass the name of the plugin and the respective string value I'm passed as day of the week. If I want to execute what is the current day, the current day today is Friday. So let's execute this time plugin. So in order to call this my time static method, because it is an await method, you have to call await. What is the name of the class? The name of the class is program 001. You just type program 001 dot. What is the name of your static function? The static function is my time. When you execute this particular code, let me execute it. Go to the view terminal. Under the terminal section, you just say, just clear the screen. .NET run. So in the program class only, we are calling the await and the name of the program class, my time is a time plugin. So now you can see that plugin, what is the name of the day today is your Friday. So we are able to execute the time plugin now. Similarly, if I want to execute the summarization plugin, let's say I want to execute for the summarization plugin. So in order to execute any type of summarization plugin, I'm going to import 2 important packages. One package is your semantic kernel, and the second package is a core plugin package. I have to import it. So these 2 packages, after we have imported it, I have created one of the function known as my conversation is the name of the function name. And inside that, I call the builder object. Inside the builder object, we use the Azure OpenAI chat completion. We passed deployment name, we passed the key API key and the endpoint. Now this time, I'm going to call the summarization conversation plugin. So for the summarization conversation plugin, this particular collection type, if I want to call this, I have to use the collection type as add from type, and you need to suppress the exception with help of pragma. Now I'm going to write a prompt saying that I am a vegan in search of new recipes. I love spicy food. Can you give me a list of breakfast recipes that are vegan friendly? So now you are given a prompt along with some of the restriction. If you want to call this conversation summary plugin, I just write invoke async, the name of the plugin, and I'm just calling the functionality called as summarize conversation. Inside summarize conversation, you need to pass the entire input. If you execute this, this is going to provide the conversation summary, which are vegan friendly. Before you execute the code, you should call the function name inside the main function. So how do you call the main function is avoid the name of the program. The name of the program is program 002, and the function name is my conversation. You just call that function. I'm going to execute this program now. Let me execute it. So we will wait for the system to respond. See, it is giving the summarization is the user is vegan friendly, looking for new recipes, and he mentioned that love for spicy food. They will specifically request for vegan friendly breakfast recipes. So this is the overall summary based upon our previous conversation. Okay, that is the usage of conversation summary plugin. The next one we'll talk about how to use your prompt template and persona types. So in order to use the prompt template and persona types, we will be using one of the functionality called as, let me show you the functionality. So here, what is the function I have created is my prompt is a function. I have just created it. Okay. And as usual, we will be importing two packages, semantic kernel package and that core package, core plugin package. These two things we have imported. How do you check out whether it is properly imported in the sense? You just check this SLN file. In the SLN file, before that, there is an option. I'll show you where you can see all types of dependencies which has been built. Okay. So inside this dependencies of this SLN file, your packages like the core package, your this one Microsoft semantic kernel package. So every packages will be there inside the CS project file. So you can see the packages, your semantic kernel package, the one more package is your plugins core package. So you can see here, my prompt is the name of the function. So I'm going to write a function called it as, let me write a basic prompt. So what is the basic prompt I'm going to write is, let me put the basic prompt as, see, I'm going to take the language as French. Okay, language is French now. Then I don't want this, I'll comment this. Okay, sorry, not this one. So I'm going to take the language as French. So I'm going to create one of the travel assistants. What is a travel assistant I'm going to create is create a list of helpful phrases and words in French language. French language, I'm going to use it. And then for the traveler, whatever the phrases are they going to suggest, it is going to be helpful. So what format I want is, I want the English format followed by the French format. So this is called as prompt based templates. So how we will be calling the prompt based templates here. So I don't know how to greet in French, how to say direction in French. For this type of stuff, so you can have your prompt templates. Just to say clear the screen. .NET run the name of the program. So before that, you should call the function name as name of the program, name of the class name, and the function name. I just call this We'll wait for the result. Yes, we got that result. See this one? The result says basic greetings. Basic greeting in English, hello, but in your French, it is bonjour. How to pronounce bonjour? They are given the that particular description also. So thank you is merci beaucoup. And how do you introduce yourself? It is given in English format, followed by the French format. What are the directions? What is the navigations and numbers? Then shopping and dining. What are the useful phrases for shopping and dining? Emergencies for help. How to call the police? And then what is the useful phrases for travel as well as a combination and common expressions. So these are some of the helpful phrases in order to make your own travel agent. If you want to make any travel agent, it will be more useful. Similarly, how to call your own persona type. Let me call the persona type. So here, this is the persona type. The persona type, what I provided is, if I calling any type of expression in the dollar curly braces, that is called as persona type. So here, what is the prompt I provided is, you are a travel assistant. You are helpful, creative, user friendly. Consider that is a traveler's background. What is my traveler background is? This is my history. So I'm traveling with my kids. One of the kid has the peanut allergy. This is my history of that my kids. So that is a traveler background I given that. So based on this particular history, you have to suggest me a list of foods which will be better. Okay. So that is called it as persona type. What I will do the persona type. Avoid name of the program and you call the function name as prompt with the persona. So I'm going to execute it now. .NET run the name of the program. I just executed it. So along with the persona type, it is going to execute now. See? So here we provided a history. Based upon the history, if for the food allergies, dining with peanut allergy, I have a peanut allergy, this is the way you have to call it. Okay. Does this contain any peanuts? You can tell in French. So those type of traveler based history personas you want, you can mention that also. So this is the way we will be creating an agent with the help of coding based approaches or coding based experiences. So any type of coding based experiences, you have to use the Azure AI Foundry SDK. And also we can use semantic kernel SDK in order to make your own type of agents, both your for single agent as well as for multi-agent. Suppose what is my debrief of this particular session? What we have discussed is we discussed initially with the agent playground. We talked about two types of tools. One is the knowledge tool, action tool, how to create an agent inside the Azure AI agent services, and we have seen various types of agent development framework. So including the semantic kernel, we have just discussed this. So that's it. Thank you so much. And these are my social handles for further any discussion or any queries. You can connect to my on either my LinkedIn or as Whites, or you can connect with my YouTube handle as well. Over to you, Sudhanshu. Sudhanshu.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for this insightful session. And thanks to all the attendees and the viewers who joined us for this exciting season of Agents session. It's time for you to discover, build, and shape the future together. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.